Hello children, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good and you all are safe and healthy at home. And I'm Kavya ma'am. Children, as we are in the winter season, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to wear jackets, sweaters and mufflers. For what? To keep ourselves warm, isn't it? And we should always have something like warm food or warm soup, hot soup or something like that, so that it keeps us warm from inside. And don't forget to have fruits and vegetables, which keeps you strong and healthy, isn't it? So children, today I am here to tell you an interesting story. Yes, and are you all waiting to listen to it? Yes? Then come join me. So today this is a story about a horse. Yes, it is about a horse. A lazy horse. What do you mean by lazy, children? Lazy means the one who doesn't want to work and only want to sleep or relax all the time without doing any work, and that person or animal is called lazy. Yes, so you got to know what lazy means, and let's see what this lazy horse is going to do, or what he is going to do to be so lazy. Yes, come join me. So in a town far away, there lived a trader. Can you see? He is a trader. And do you know what's his name? His name is Babulal. And what do you mean by trader, children? Trader means, I'll tell you, he's a person who sells or buys the goods, yes, from one place, or he sells the good in another place. So what does he do? He sells or buys the goods from one place to another. Yes. So he is Babulal. He had a very lazy horse, and he had a name too. What was his name? This lazy horse name was Raja. Isn't the name so nice? Yes. His name was Raja, and he is Mr. Babulal. So let's see what Babulal and Raja did. Okay. As Babulal was a trader, he used to trade salt from one place to another. How was he doing it? He was putting a sack of salt. Yes, he was putting a sack of salt on the horse like this, and the horse would go from one place to another walking, and then Babulal would sell his salt in another place. So this is how Babulal was trading his salt. So one day what happened? As usual, Babulal had packed a sack of salt, and he said, "Hey Raja, come here. Let me put the sack of salt on your back, and so that we can go cross the river and we can sell the salt." And then what happened? Then the horse said, "Oh no, not again." Yes, why did the horse say that? He said that because the horse was lazy to do his work. Yes, so what did the horse do? The horse said, "Oh no, not again. Again, I can't walk all the way along carrying this load of salt on my back. My back hurts every time I do this, and it is so heavy to carry and walk all the way. But what to do? I have to do this work or else my master will scold me. So I have to do this. And then what did Raja do? Raja took this sack of salt on his back and then he started walking through the bridge. Can you see the bridge, children? So what did he do? He started walking through the bridge like this. Slowly and slowly he was walking on the bridge because he was very lazy to walk fast. Yes. And then what happened? As Raja was walking like this, Babulal said, "You keep walking. I'll pack food for myself." And Babulal went inside to pack his food. As Raja was walking and walking, he came across the bridge like this. And then what happened? He started feeling tired and sleepy. Can you see? He's feeling so tired and sleepy, isn't it? So, what did he do? He came like this and then he started thinking that, okay, let me close my eyes and then walk so that I can sleep also and I can walk. Then when he started walking over the bridge like this with the salt on his back, what happened? As he had closed his eyes, he slipped and fell inside the river. And then what happened? He suddenly got up and he said, "Oh no, what happened? I fell inside the river. Oh, my bag, the sack of salt and all has gone wet." He was started to think that, and then again he came out. And when he came out, he got so surprised. Yes, why did he get so surprised? Because the salt had got reduced in the bag. Why? Because when he fell inside the water with the sack, the salt inside it got dissolved when it got wet. And his bag became lighter. And he said, "Oh, that is so nice. As I fell inside the water, the salt got dissolved and I am able to walk so freely. And what else? My back doesn't ache much." Yes. So he thought so and he started to walk slowly. And then later Babulal came and joined the horse. And then he said, "Come fast, Raja, let's go to the market or else we'll be late." And then they went. And after going there, when Babulal saw that the salt had got, and he started thinking, Babulal started thinking, how did the salt got reduced so much? I had weighed it properly and had filled it in the sack. But what happened to the salt? Why is it so reduced? And thinking the same, what did Babulal did? Whatever the salt was left, he sold all the salt and with a sad face, he returned back home with the horse. And when the horse was reached back, the horse started thinking, today what happened was a good idea, isn't it? So what happened when I fell inside the river? The sack got wet and the salt got dissolved. So the burden got less and it became very lighter. I think I should use this trick every day so that whenever my master puts the sack of salt on my back, I will go to the bridge and I will dip inside the water. And when I come out, the sack will become lighter and it will be easy for me to walk easily. Yes, so because the horse was a lazy horse, he started thinking how to reduce his work, how to reduce the burden. And then what happened? The next day, Babulal once again filled the sack with the salt. He checked that the salt was weighing properly as he wanted. And then what did he say? He said, "Come, my dear Raja, come here. Let me put the sack on your back and let's go to the market. Today we will sell more of salt." Raja came and then Babulal, what did he do? He put the sack on the horse back like this. And then what did Raja do? Raja again started walking and walking and walking. And then slowly he reached the bridge. As he came in the middle of the bridge, what did Raja do? He got the same idea. He said, like yesterday, let me jump into the water so that the sack will get lighter. And what he did? He jumped immediately into the water. And then again the sack got wet and the salt got dissolved in the water. And then fast he came out. And then he said, yes, even today the trick worked. As I fell inside the water, the salt got dissolved and my back I'm feeling so lighter today. And then again he started walking as if he didn't know what he did. He didn't know what to. And then as usual, Babulal reached the horse and they started walking again to the market. And then what happened? Again he started selling the salt. But later he found that even today the salt had reduced. And Babulal got confused. He started thinking, how is it possible that whenever I am weighing the salt, it will be proper? By the time I reach the market, how is this happening? He was confused, but still he sold all the salt that was remaining with him, and then he returned back home with the horse. But that night Babulal couldn't sleep because he was worried. Like, what happened to the salt? Why is the salt got reducing like this? Am I doing some mistake in weighing it, or is there anything else that is happening over there? And then he started thinking, is there any hole in the sack because of which I am losing the salt? And then he went and checked, but there was no hole in the sack. And then he again got worried and he came back to sleep. The next morning, again as usual, Babulal called Raja, and what did he do? He again weighed a sack of salt and he kept it on the back of horse and asked Raja to walk towards the market, and he will pack his food and will join him. And as Raja was walking and walking and walking, what did he do? He said, my master is not coming here yet, so let me use my trick and let me jump into the water and reduce my burden. So what did Raja do? Again he came in the middle of the bridge, and then again he jumped into the river. And once he jumped, the sack got wet and all the salt got dissolved in the water. And then he came out. Again he started feeling lighter. Then he started walking fast to the market. And then again Babulal came and joined him. It became a same routine, like Babulal would fill the sack and he would put it on the horse, and Raja would walk over the bridge, come on the bridge, and he would jump into the river and the salt would get dissolved. And then when Babulal reaches the market, what would happen? He would find half the sack of salt. And then Babulal would get disappointed and they used to come back. After a few days, what happened? Babulal started feeling very bad. He started thinking, I'm having so much of loss. I am not getting enough money for my hard work. I am working so hard, but still one or the other way some mistake is happening, because of which I am not able to get the salt. So Babulal started thinking that he is not getting enough money with the remaining salt. He is selling it. And then what happened? Babulal was very confused and very worried. After reaching back home, he started thinking, what did I do? Did I do any mistake? Or what is this problem that is happening? Why am I losing so much of salt? But Raja was very happy. Using his trick, he was He was trying to lessen the burden on his back, and he would always dip inside the water and come out to reduce the salt. And every time he was doing it, he had become so confident in doing this trick, and purposely he would come near the bridge and he would dip inside the water, and the salt dissolves and he used to come out. As the days passed, even Babulal was upset. So he started suspecting on the horse. Yes, Babulal thought maybe Raja is doing something. So let me see what he does. And then as usual, what happened? The next day, Babulal called Raja and he said, "Hey Raja, come here. Let me put this sack of salt on you, and you walk towards the market crossing the bridge. I will come and join you by packing my food." And happily Raja came, thinking that even this time he will follow the same, and Babulal will put a sack of salt and he will come and dip inside the water. The salt will get reduced and he can happily go to the market and he will not have lot of burden. And then what happened? When Raja came, Babulal kept a sack on his back. But children, this time it was not the sack of salt. It was a sack of cotton. Yes. Why did Babulal do that? You know why? Because the next day when Raja was walking like this, even Babulal followed the horse. And as the Raja was walking on the bridge and he came towards the middle of the bridge, Babulal was standing behind the bushes and he was seeing like what Raja was doing. And then what did Raja do? As usual, he fell inside the river. Babulal was shocked to see this. And then when the salt of sack got wet and the salt got dissolved, happily Raja came out and he said, "Now my burden has got less. I'm not feeling that heavy. It has become very lighter. Seeing this, Babulal got very angry and upset on Raja. He said, I am doing so much of work and I'm working so hard to get money and lead my life. But this Raja is so cunning. How can he be so bad? How can he cheat to his own master? Just to reduce the burden on his back, he has got me so much of loss. How can he do like that? And then what did Babulal think? He said, I have to teach this horse a lesson. Let me think what to do. And then what happened? Babulal got an idea. What did he do? As I said, the next day, Babulal called the horse and instead of the sack of salt, he kept the sack of cotton. And after keeping the cotton of sack on his back, Babulal said, come on Raja, you walk further. I will be back. I'll get my food and I'll follow you. Raja thought that on his back it is the sack of salt. And then what he did, he slowly walked towards the bridge. And then he tried to climb it. And then when he came to the middle of the bridge, what did he do? He thought that, let me use the same trick. I'll jump into the river and the salt will get dissolved. And then I can walk happily because my back will get lighter. But Babulal had kept the sack of cotton, not salt. Let's see what happened. Then Raja jumped into the river. And after a while, what happened? Raja started shouting, oh no, my back is hurting. Why am I feeling so heavier? I am not able to move. Why am I going down? No, I should go out of this river. And the sack got very heavy. And then puffing and panting, he came out of the river. But he couldn't walk because the sack of cotton. Why? When the cotton gets wet or it soaks the water and the cotton gets heavier. So what happened? Because Babulal had kept cotton in the sack, the cotton soaked all the water and the bag got heavier. And when Raja came out, what happened? He just came and fell on the ground like this. He said, I'm so tired. I can't walk anymore. My back is paining. Isn't it so funny, children? Look at him. He was such a lazy horse, isn't it? Now, he was not able to carry the bag of cotton. And he said he can't walk anymore. And he said, I have to rest for a while or else I can't walk. I will fall down. And he slept on the ground like this. And when he was sleeping, what happened? Babulal came there and he started laughing at Raja seeing him. And he said, ha ha ha, Raja, did you see what happened to you? You were trying to avoid the work and you always saw how to reduce your work, isn't it? And you cheated me. Every time you would come near to the bridge and dip inside the water and reduce your weight by dissolving all the salt inside the river. So today I thought of teaching you a lesson. and in your bag it was not salt, it was cotton, because of which the cotton soaked the water and it got heavier. And then Babulal said, never trick to your work or avoid work or try to fool anyone like this. Always work hard. Only then you will be successful. Yes. And after saying this, what happened? Raja felt very bad that he had. Babulal said, this is your work which you have to do. I work every day very hard and I worship my work and I don't make any excuses or trick or fool others to avoid work. In the same way, even you have to work hard. So doing this, Babulal taught Raja a lesson that he should always respect his work. And from that very day, Raja never tried to avoid his work, or he never gave excuses, or he never tricked his master or fooled him whenever he asked him to do something. So children, what is the moral of the story? Every story has a moral. That means that we have something to learn from every story, isn't it? So what is the moral of the story? That like Raja, we should never trick anyone. We should not avoid work. We should never give excuses to the work. We should enjoy doing our work. If we work with honesty and sincerity, then only we can be successful in our lives, like Babulal. Yes, he always worked hard and he always worshipped his work. So he was successful. But because of horse trick, he got cheated and he had to face some loss. But what is the moral? That we should always be truthful to the work we do, isn't it, children? And now I am going to show you an experiment. Yes, do you want to know the experiment of what? I'll tell you. Remember in the story I said that when Raja jumped into the river with the sack of salt, what happened? The salt got dissolved in the water, isn't it? So, shall we see how the water gets dissolved? Yes? 1 second. Again, I am going to show you the experiment. Yes, I have took a glass of water and I am going to add a spoon of salt into it. Yes, children. Now, I am going to put this inside the water. Can you see what is happening? The salt is getting dissolved. Yes. Now, I am going to mix it. Yes. Can you see, children? The water is, yes, the salt is getting dissolved in water, isn't it? See, the water is getting See, children, the salt is dissolved completely, isn't it? So, this is what happened when Raja jumped into the river. The salt got dissolved in the water and he started feeling lighter because of this. Yes, and we also saw that he was carrying a sack of cotton, and when he fell inside the river, the cotton soaked the water and he started feeling heavier, isn't it? So now I'm going to take a little bit of salt and dip it inside the water. Can you see the cotton is very lighter, isn't it? See, it is very lighter. When you take a little bit of cotton and what? Blow it, it just flies. Did you see? Yes. So the cotton is very lighter. But when we put it inside the water, the cotton gets heavier. Can you see? See, the cotton gets heavier with this when it soaks the water. Can we blow it? Does it fly? No. See, it didn't, because the cotton soaked the water and it has become heavier. Yes, children, I hope you got to know how you have to be towards your work, isn't it? So we should never be like Raja. We should not escape from our work, and we should never give excuses to our work, isn't it? So what did we learn, children? That we should always be faithful towards our work, and it's all about being true to your work. Yes, we have to be very true to our work. So children, I hope you all enjoyed listening to this story, and I'll see you soon with yet another interesting story. But don't forget to like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Okay? Stay safe and stay warm because we are in the winter season. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.